Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? How much do you want to bet that I can do a whole project in one day? Well, I don't really have a choice because today is the last day before my final is due and I've barely started a thing and I did not procrastinate. I've just had so much schoolwork that I've not been able to start it. I did start a little bit last night. I figured like, you know what? I actually have really high hopes for this project and I think it'll come out really cute. This is for my bookmaking class / paper making class. I've made a lot of paper the past few days, and so my plan was to turn it into stationery and then make a box for all of my stationery and just make it like a little marketable item type thing. So that is our plans for today. How's it gonna go? I have no idea. I'm hoping it'll turn out good. Here is what I have so far. Yesterday night I made a bunch of envelopes and it actually went, I mean, I don't see why this like wouldn't have gone well. I couldn't have foreseen it to go not well, but this is what it'll look like. Here's a pink one. I made some green ones. I did not make this green paper. That is the only paper I did not make. I have some blue paper. I made more paper yesterday and it's all in the studio as well. But the process of making these envelopes was really easy. I have 3 more. I don't need to go through all of them. That one's pink inside. They're really cute. The process is really easy. I just like have a template and I cut out my envelopes accordingly and I glue them all together. And so a few episodes of Sailor Moon later, here I am with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 of them. I don't have an estimate for how many I want to make. I'm really just trying to get like a nice color palette going, and right now I don't think I've achieved that yet, so we're going to just work on it a little bit more. I have class today as well, which is a bit concerning because I have to make a whole box, which last time I made a box it took me a long time, and I think I want to make a box that's a bit more complicated because I want to put another little box inside the box so that I have a divider, because I think I want these little cards to be in a separate stack next to it. So the box is going to be a pretty sizable box, but I haven't even made that yet, so lots of concerning things floating around. I think it should be okay. Also, I want to show you guys this. This is actually very exciting. Yesterday, I went to a craft store down in Providence that I never go to. It's not really a craft store. It's called Craftland for anyone who's in the area, but they sell like handmade things. And on a whim, like after class, I suddenly just decided to go by myself and take a peek at it. And this is what I found. I found the most beautiful paper, which is what's inspiring me right now. This paper has little chameleons on it and it is so cute. This one has some ginkgo leaves. These were $4 a sheet. So these are dinosaurs at a birthday party, which I thought was really cute. And like I said, I was making party invitations, so these definitely fit the theme. And then this one is the one I'm gonna be using today. Look how beautiful. I want to use the other ones. I just don't really like when paper is white at the like base, so we will be using this today. But look how beautiful. There's little grasshoppers in it. So the theme of today's party is going to be bugs at a picnic party. And the outside wrapping of my box is gonna be bananas because I don't have any other book fabric that I like that is related to this theme. So that is what is happening today. But this is why I have the green here, because I want to start tying in some of that beautiful color. And I have some blue paper. You guys saw the big stack of paper that I've made. I have some blue, but it is not related to the confetti. And I've realized my theme has to be that every sheet has some confetti in it or it looks out of place. So I'm gonna be picking that up in the studio today because I have class. And I also did my homework. My homework was to finish these 2 accordion books. One is thicker than the other because I decided to split my papers up unevenly on purpose because I thought it would look nicer. But it's just like an accordion book. Like the craftsmanship is pretty good. I don't know, that's up to my professor to judge. She's been liking my work, so I'm not too concerned about it. But yep, there's my accordion book. So we have these done, working on these guys. I also want to paint these, so I'll probably be doing that tonight. I'm just gonna see how much I can get to, and then if I can't get to it, then you know, it is what it is. But if I can, I would love to. So yeah, but I'm debating if I want to take all my paper with me to studio or not. I guess I should, just in case I have time to work on my project. I don't really know what we're doing in class today. So that's where we're at right now. And we're just gonna go through the progress today. But I know these are gonna be much cuter when I paint them, so I'm holding out for that. Here we are so far. Woo! So there's a lot of work I'm gonna have to do if I want to get my entire final done in one day. So the first thing we're gonna do is make some more envelopes. Like I said, I didn't really get all of the colors that I wanted, and I'm still not going to right now because I just haven't made enough paper, but I still have to go to class today later, which is gonna take about 5 hours. All of my studios are 5 hours long. So right now before class, we're just gonna make some envelopes. So this is the process of how I did it. It's actually super simple. The only more complicated part is that I actually made all of this paper, but if you wanted to do this with like normal paper or craft paper that you get at the craft store, this would be super easy and feasible. All I did really is just make a template and trace it out on some paper and made sure that that fit all of my papers. And then I'm just going to trace the little spots in the corner. I didn't go and trace a line all the way along my template because I don't want ugly pencil marks. So I just did it at the corners so I can remeasure with my ruler and cut straight lines. And I'm just gonna cut these templates out. Very easy. Some of these papers are thinner than others, so it really depends on how thin the paper is, how easy it's gonna cut. None of it is thick enough that an X-Acto knife can't get through it, so all is good with the world. But we're just gonna cut all of these out. I cut out a bunch of these templates from a couple of sheets that I wanted to spare, and I actually ended up using way more of my handmade paper than I thought I was going to. Honestly, I felt kind of precious with this paper since I made it myself, and I didn't want to I don't want to say waste it because I don't think it's a waste to use it for my final project, but I didn't want to use all of it, I guess. I wanted to save some for the future, but I realized recently that I'm actually going to be continuing my work in this class next semester, so I'm really excited. So it gives me more confidence to use up the materials that I'm currently using. But as you can see, this paper that I'm doing is double-sided, so one side is the confetti stuff and the other side is pink, and so I'm very excited for that. I'm cutting out the middle part right now. I've been alternating between X-Acto knives and scissors. I find that I like using scissors when there is a lot of bulk to get through and it's a weird shape, like for example this curved sweetheart neckline looking thing. But when it's for straight edges, I definitely want to use my X-Acto knife. And we're gonna use the bone folder here, which is just this little white thing that I'm using, and it's really good for folding paper. I actually don't use it as much as I should, but during this class it has been very much mandatory and I've been using it a lot, which has not been the worst thing. And I'm gonna use my finger to spread the glue because sometimes you can just feel where the glue is better on paper, and so I find it easier to do it like that instead of using a brush. And you're just gonna bone fold everything down to make it all nice and flat, and that's just how I make an envelope. It's very easy, as you can tell. So cute, so pretty. And so now I'm gonna make a couple more just to have a nice big stack. You guys know that I like to make series of things or like a collection of things. I don't really know what exactly it is about that I like. I think it might be the marketability of that stuff. You guys know I love making things that have like a consumer aspect to it, so I'm making this box set so that it looks like something you would maybe find in the craft store that I bought the paper from. This is another sheet of handmade paper that I made. One side is blue with stars and the other side is pink with hearts, and I left the blue side on the outside just because I wanted it blue. But as you can see, this is some cute Valentine's Day paper that I made on the inside, and I made a lot of these papers in my other vlogs. If you guys are interested in checking them out, I've made several videos on how I actually made this paper. We're just gonna keep going, just doing the same process over and over again. This part is really repetitive, so I watched a lot of Sailor Moon. That is currently my show of choice, and I'm just going to keep doing this thing over and over again. It's very repetitive, but it's very like soothing to me, I guess. As you can see, all the edges are scalloped, so I did do those by hand with scissors, and I think they just look way cuter that way. And sometimes I have a little bit of extra hanging off, so you just want to cut that off with an X-Acto knife, and it just gets rid of the excess and makes it all nice and clean, because sometimes your template just like doesn't turn out how you expected it to, but that's all okay. And here is another different sheet of paper that I'm doing that has some different textures to it. So this paper is going to cut a little bit differently than the other ones. As you can see, this one's a lot thinner than the other ones just because it's not double-sided and it's just a thinner sheet of paper, but it has a lot of ombre situations going on. A lot of different pulps were mixed to make this paper, so it makes for a very interesting envelope when you fold it all up, and I really loved how it came out. I love that little heart on the front. I think it looks so cute. I love when there's just little details like that that peek through when you make your own paper by hand. This is how I made a bunch of envelopes, and it went really well. I didn't think it was not going to, especially because I've already done it, but it went well. Right now, this is what my desk looks like. We have these beautiful guys. They look really cute. I'm excited to make more that aren't just plain white on the front because I think it's like making it look too plain, and I have a lot of them that are swirled. We have the most beautiful scraps of paper I've ever seen because first of all, they're all scalloped, and second of all, they're handmade paper, so they look really pretty. This little man has been holding all of my paper scraps for me that I want to keep. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but they're very pretty, and that one has a heart in it. Oh my god. Templates for stuff. We got a lot going on today. Alrighty. ready. So I packed up all the stuff that I can in my backpack. So we're going to go to studio now. Debating if I should buy another sheet of green paper. I feel like I don't need it, but also like maybe I should just in case. I think I might just do it. I find that during final season, every time I'm like, should I buy this thing? I just do it just in case. If I don't need it, at least I had extra. But the worst part is when you don't have extra and you struggle. So I guess I'll do that. And so now I'm gonna just go into studio. I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of stuff that I wanted to do in studio specifically, and I would have much rather stayed in my room, which is usually how things go towards the end of final season when you have to go to studio right before your final is due. As you can see, I'm trying to make the most of my time in class by just making the measurements for my box and gluing it together so that I can just have that done for tonight and I just have to cover it. And also miraculously, without any coincidence, my roommate who was sitting next to me in class made a box that perfectly fits inside my box. So all of our pieces were like flush inside my box, and it's just crazy because we didn't discuss our measurements at all, and it was just like intuition, I guess. We're gonna try to make this box, and actually today in studio I'm actually very happy that I went in because I got to make some extra paper as well that I did not let dry all the way through because I really needed to use it. But that is probably one of the most productive things I could have done in class, and so I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. And so here I am just harvesting all of the paper that I made today, even though it is not fully dry because I'm gonna have to use it tonight. I made some more paper with the confetti pulps because, like I said, I realized this morning that when I was making my little envelopes and cards and whatnot that I want to have more paper just because I think my color palette was really heavily relied on pink, and it didn't really seem like, although I love making things with pink, that was really gonna work for this project. So I wanted to make more things with blue. Also, I had my professor custom process pulps for me so that I could have pink, blue, and purple pulps. I needed to use that up before class was finished, so I did that as well. And so I'm actually really happy that I went into studio because, oh my god, if I didn't do this, it's not like I couldn't have finished my project, but like my project just wouldn't have come out as good as I would have hoped it to look. And I'm really glad how these blue and white papers came out because I feel like something about the specific shade of pink is not my favorite shade of pink, and it is really affecting how I feel about the whole color palette, which is why I'm shifting it to blue. But yeah, I had these rest for the entirety of class, so a couple of good hours, and they were drying, and now they are ready to be taken back. So that is what I'm doing. I'm gonna take them back and we're gonna cut them up, do all the things that we need to do. And I am just so glad that I was able to do this because it was probably just like the most efficient use of time that I could have had today. Honestly, yeah, a lot of the stuff is just cutting things and doing it in my room, and so doing it in class was really not helpful, but since I had this extra thing I wanted to do, totally was able to spend my time well. And so now we're gonna head back to my room after a long day in studio. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it has probably been 5 hours by now, and we're going to hobble into my room. Here's my lunch tray of items. We went to the Met, got a bunch of food. I always snatch their cookies and cream ice cream, so I have 2 of these. LOL. And then we got whatever dinner they were serving today. Pizza, a cookie from earlier, and a banana. But I have a lot of work to do. This was freckled with water because it was raining outside, and I want to show you guys, but it all dried by the time I got up here, just very fast. So yeah, but we have a lot of work to do. I also have a bajillion and one things in my book bag. Let me show you. So since I'm doing my final, I basically brought everything back that I thought I could possibly use because studio's closed and everything's due tomorrow. So first of all, I have all my handmade paper that I made in class last time. This does not count the stack that I made beforehand, so we have a bunch of it. This one has a lot of blues that the other stack did not have just because I didn't get to making any blue at the time. We have this one big sheet that is very poorly dried. I don't want to talk about it. Washi paper in case I need to back any more fabric, and this is all loose fabric. We have scrap paper, scrap book board. This is a bag of things I didn't want to get dirty. So we have the contents for my book because I was cutting all of the materials that I would need. So right now, this is what the inside of my box looks like. We have this, which is just like my notes, but here are the sheets that we cut out and here are the envelopes. This comes out in a separate little box like that. And then there's some boards down there because I'm gonna make another little book. A bunch of schoolwork I need to get to that I haven't done yet. Here's my strawberry book that you guys saw me make in the last video. Has this cute little guy. We have the banana box, which is now occupied by several rejected envelopes that are gonna sit in here. I'm very excited to work tonight, actually, and watch Sailor Moon and just get stuff done. We have mole, which is like reinforcement stuff that we're gonna use. More bookboard stuff. These are squares for something else. So I have classwork to get done too. I have these two drum leaf books that I need to finish. And then we have this little long stitch book that we were supposed to finish but didn't get to. So I need to get those done tonight as well. Here's my glue, a big bottle of glue. And then the book fabric that I have. Got the bananas. I still don't entirely know what I'm doing. I took a picture today of a couple of them together as a color palette because I thought I might like it, but I have no idea anymore what my color palette's gonna be, so I'm still working on it, but I brought back everything that I have. Of course, my paintbrushes, super long from freshman year, ruler, scissors, and apparently an Apple pencil. I haven't used that in days, so I guess it's just there. I'm gonna do some eating, and then we're gonna start working. I'm gonna put on some Sailor Moon and relax right now. I'm literally so hungry. I've been hard at work in studio all day. Love a good slice of pizza. I really like thick crust pizza, but I haven't had pizza in so long that anything will do. I need to go back to that one place downtown with the pizza. That place was really good. Finally getting to relax for a little bit before I get back to work. Okay, so let's get a little update on everything that I did in class. So, did some little measurement guys, but I already made these last night. Like I said, I had a couple of these. I made that one in class. I got to some of the blue ones, so that one's also from class. But I have a couple of these that are just chilling in here. These are the same deal. I need to cut a few more of those, but that's okay. But I made these boxes. We have this one. And this is going to be a cover for a book that we need to make right now, because I'm going to have a little journal at the bottom, and then we're going to put those little envelopes and the paper cards on top. So right now I'm going to get to work on making the journal, and we're going to cover these boxes and get ready for everything. Still haven't figured out what the color scheme is. We have my beautiful paper on the ground right now, but we're going to try to find something that goes with everything. I think the first thing I want to do is to make the little book. So I think I'm going to have an exposed spine because it seems like this is going to be a very thin book because there's not a lot of space for it. I'm going to just cut some sheets, sew them up real quick, and then, yeah. I bought this giant pad of paper last spring semester last year. I don't even honestly remember, but I never used it. So we're going to use this paper to just cut some up and fold. So I'm just gonna take out 5 sheets of this. We're gonna just cut them up and fold them real quick. So hopefully this doesn't take more than like 30 minutes, but who knows? Art always seems to find a way to complicate my life one step at a time. Let's get to it. I cut some sheets and I folded them. I haven't done signatures yet, but I decided to include some of my handmade paper because I just think it's so pretty. So we have this white sheet. This one that's a little bit blue and speckled, and they're all either like a little bit blue and speckled or they're just blue, but here they all are. They're all still a little bit damp, which is why they're so like, I don't know, flowy, but that's okay. I'm gonna trim them all down so that they fit these dimensions, and then we're gonna get to work on binding them. I just love the way it like feels. This is very nice paper. And so here we are making the book, which is one of the first aspects of my project. So I have the envelopes and I have the postcards, but I also wanted to make a little journal out of everything just because I thought it'd be a really nice way to showcase all the paper I've made. And as you can see, initially I was going to mix my handmade paper with some of the other paper that we had from last semester, which is just like normal paper that I bought. And even though I cut all of them and had them ready for this book, I actually ended up changing my mind halfway through and just decided to make the entire book out of my handmade paper, which I am so glad I did because it just looks so much better. Because as I was trying to incorporate it, I just realized that like there's no way for the handmade paper to blend in and look good and not out of place with the other paper that is like factory made. And so I decided to just make it entirely handmade because this whole project already looked handmade, so why would I randomly include that? So I'm trimming down all of my papers that I've made to the best dimensions that they can be. I love the deckled edges, which is the rough
edges that you get when you make your own paper from the mold and decal, but I didn't leave them because all of my papers were so irregularly shaped because the mold and decals we have in class are actually not very good and they're very, very old. So they make very lumpy, splotchy pieces of paper. And so if I were to keep all of these edges, the sides of the book would have been too irregular and I really didn't want that. So that is why I am cutting them all off and trimming them. It looks really good in the end. And so I pretty much just had all of these set and I folded them and had them aside. I don't have a book press in my room, obviously, because that is a big piece of machinery. So I just had it weighed under a lot of different stacks of books and other heavy things in my room. And so that just sat there until the end of the night when I finally finished this book. So you'll see this come back later in the video, but as of right now, just know that this happened and it was a quick process and we'll come back to it later. Alright, so here's what I've been sitting here staring at, my color palette. I really like this purple. I need to add some other color. I feel like the purple like stands out so much though, but I like it. I just wish I had one more purple like thing I could add. I guess I do have like this purple paper. It's barely purple, but maybe I can add it in something. I'm trying to figure out the color combination for the box. Also, we just got a text message. Apparently there's some weather advisory stuff going on and you guys know that I just had a snowstorm hit here and we had to cancel a bunch of stuff and it was very scary and it snowed 2 feet. And so I don't know, I got a weather advisory note saying like, don't worry guys, RISD's gonna be open, but it's weird we even got a weather advisory in the first place, so I don't know what's gonna happen. But right now I'm still trying to figure out the content of this box. I'm very conflicted right now. And so deciding how I wanted to do the color scheme of this box was really hard for me because I didn't have that much to work with that I felt like was harmonious with each other. But one thing I did know I wanted to do was I wanted to make this tiny tray on the inside this very pretty sparkly color because I used it for my banana box and I really loved how it turned out, so I wanted to incorporate it in my final project as well. And so I'm just gonna wrap this box in this glitter part, which is easily the most simple part of my entire project, was just wrapping this box in this because there was no worry about like gaps or the glue being weird or anything because this whole sheet is like sticky. It's also super thin, it's plastic, it's just like wrapping a present. So this was easily like the most simple thing that I did for this entire project. I'm gonna stick on the back piece now and it is so satisfying to watch it just fit perfectly, and that was it. So easy, oh my god. I am feeling so stressed about my color palette. I cannot keep thinking about this. I'm just gonna cover this in purple. We're gonna just figure it out. The reason why I'm feeling so stressed is because I'm very unconfident with the colors I've chosen right now, but I'm hoping that it'll work out okay. I already covered this box and this was like, I knew I wanted this to be cute and glittery. I don't have this glued in. I just put in the little banana paper right now because I thought it might be cute, but I'm not sure if I want to keep that there. I'm just gonna cover this, I think first with a layer of white paper so that the purple is purple as possible, and then we are going to cover it with the purple fabric. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because I'm getting decision paralysis and it's really bothering me. I will be back once this is covered ideally. So here's the box so far. Don't worry, that's the bottom, but here is the top. I put some pink tissue paper on underneath because I noticed that a lot of lighter color book cloth that I had gets really like see-through. So I wanted the base to be a little bit more solid, and I think it's working well, but we're gonna go ahead and cover up the rest of this. So for this entire project, I was actually very not entirely set on a theme. And so this was at the time where I still thought I was going to do a bug picnic party. I'm not doing a bug picnic party at the end. I was going to have the theme mostly shown at the end when I paint the little characters and stuff on the papers, but I ended up being really tired and not doing that entirely, so I had a different theme. But at this point, I'm still trying to do a bug picnic party, which is why I cut these little shapes out. They kind of look like bushes. I don't regret it because it still like made sense with the theme I ended up with, I guess. I'm just punching some stars out so that I can incorporate the stars into this part of the box, and I'm going to just glue it onto the side of the box because also the bottom inside wrap is going to be green, which means the background against this purple box is going to be green. green, so I wanted it to kind of connect in some way and not look so jarring. I know I had to do this part before I actually connect the box because I'm gonna have to wrap it around the bottom of the box so that it is very seamless and nice. Those are all just things I have to think about in my brain when making these boxes because the order of what you do is really, really important. I wanted to incorporate the stars because there's a lot of cutout stars in my confetti paper, and so I feel like this would make sense. Also, if you look very closely, you can see the sheets of paper that I cut for the book being pressed with my pencil case down there. But like I said, we're just gonna glue this on, wrap it around at the bottom, and maybe paint things on it at the end. I'm not too sure yet, but the theme is slowly changing. Okay, little bit of an update. It was kind of glued to my table real quick, but I added these little like bushes on the side. I feel like this was a big improvement. I was not actually planning on doing this beforehand, but I will be painting some stuff on this later. I'm gonna save all the painting for the end because I don't want to paint some elements and then have it look really weird and out of place, so I'm gonna leave it for the very end. But I'm liking how it looks so far. That green makes it make a lot more sense with this as the background. So I think we're almost ready to make the actual wrap part of the box. I'm going to cut out the window at the top because also I want to do a plastic part so you can see into the box. I have many things planned. Here are all my envelopes. I haven't bound my book yet, but that's fine, you know. We're just spending the night doing some fun little craft things. All is good and fine with the world. So here they are. Here's everything so far. Work in progress, but we're getting somewhere. So I am this close to finishing the bare minimum, and I covered all of these boards very poorly, as you can tell, with some white paper. It's just printer paper, and the reason I did this, I have the ribbon attached to, which is crooked now that I'm looking at it. That's a bit concerning. I'm going to cover it with the banana paper, and the banana paper, or it's not really paper, it's more like book fabric, is very specific because it's white, and that's obviously like the lightest a color can get. And like I said, the white or lighter colored book cloth tends to have a tendency to be translucent, and I really don't want that. That is why I'm covering it all with white paper, which is just an extra precaution. My closure is going to be this ribbon because first of all, I don't have any more bone clasps, and second of all, I didn't really like bone clasps to begin with because they feel kind of out of place. But I have my ribbons attached there all over the place. I'm going to clean off my desk, and then we're going to attach everything to the banana paper, and I'm very excited. Woo! Also, I'm eating a banana. Very appropriate. Here it is up close and personal. It's sticking to my fingers a little bit, but there's the white one. As you can see, there's also some strange things on my desk. So if you see anything weird, no, you didn't. But we have here and then here. And I think it's looking pretty cute. So we're gonna put the banana on top, and it's gonna have this clear little window that we're gonna have to work in after. I'm actually really nervous about this part. I feel like it'll be fine, but last time I made one of these, the issue was the box. I don't think I'm completely to blame for this because I got all of these measurements from my professor, but as you can see, the box was a little bit loose. So I'm really trying to avoid that, obviously, because this is my final project. It appears that everything will fit perfectly fine, so we're just gonna get to gluing. We're gonna have to do a lot of bone folding as well. I need my board thickness guide. I think everything here should just be one board thickness though, because I'm not really overlapping anything, but let's go ahead and get started. So I think this is the first thing to glue. We're supposed to put glue like on another surface or like in a jar, but I just do mine straight out of the bottle because I don't really see why not. Also, it's getting late, so I'm getting tired and my hands are getting clumsy. Trying to remember to keep this ribbon clean. Get some glue on the rest of this. And honestly, as much as I want to be super careful and like plan every single thing out and do all of that, at some point you just gotta do it, you know? This piece is probably going to be the hardest one to glue. But also, since I have a base of white paper, I'm not too concerned because if I have like a little bit of a corner peeking through or something, it'll be okay because it'll still be white at the bottom, so it won't be as noticeable. Alrighty, so first piece done. I'm just gonna stick this down like this on the line. And now we're just gonna do that all the way down the row. So that's the first one. Let's weigh it down with some stuff. What do I have to weigh it down with? I have a bunch of these guys. Does anyone remember them? I made them last semester. You can go watch my video on it if you would like. I have several of them so they can just weigh my stuff down while we do the next board. So to put this one down, I'm gonna move two of them. Put
this as the guide, and I like to give it just a little bit more space because I'm pretty anxious about it not fitting. So there we go. Now I can just use these to weigh both corners down. We got this guy. It's pretty late right now, so I'm not really tired because I go to sleep pretty late, but I want to get to bed early-ish just because I don't really feel like staying up late. Also, my craftsmanship just deteriorates the later it gets, so I really want to be finishing this soon. Did I glue the wrong side of this one? Okay, clearly, as you can tell, I'm losing it. I am going a bit heavy on the glue, but I had issues backing this fabric at the time, and so not all of the layers of the paper are attached to the fabric. So I really want to get this glue to soak through all those layers so that it can adhere everything. But let's just get that guy. It's in place. Can't exactly touch that a lot. And then our last piece is this one with the ribbon. Being very careful with the ribbon not to get it dirty, even though it keeps happening. Slide that into the right place. And there's everything. So we're gonna let it dry and see how this turns out. Of course, I'm gonna turn it around and bone fold the front so that it is nice and smooth. And then we're just gonna let this dry, and can't believe we got this far. Okay, so I have these two papers in my lap, and even though I've been trying so hard to make this dark green one work, I just feel like it would look better with this one, especially because a lot of these papers are white, and I really wanted to use this for something. Unfortunately though, I just don't think it's gonna work with this specific color palette that I have going on, because especially this is like so, I just feel like the purple doesn't really make sense with this green. So I'm probably gonna use this instead, unfortunately. Okay, so I finally boarded up all of the little gaps. I should have planned better for the gaps, but now we can put this sheet on top, so I'm excited. I'm also thinking about doing a trim or something, because I don't want like the white with the white, you know? That's like boring. I'm still debating on the color and the paper. I don't know what's happening anymore. So I cut a really long strip of this inner paper because I wasn't really thinking that well, because honestly I don't need this long of a paper, because one of them is going to have a sparkly border because I'm doing the plastic piece in the window. Underneath where the box is going to be, there doesn't need to be this nice paper for that. I don't want to use it just to get it covered up. So as you can see, I just cut off the excess and we're going to just glue that little part down so it can be weighed down by the box. This will make sense once the box is on it, but basically I'm not going to waste this nice paper for no reason, because this was $4 a sheet, which was a lot for paper. So we're going to glue down this middle panel now and just use the bone folder. Make sure to get everything into those creases because it's going to fold there. And as you can see, when I put the box on there, you don't need nice paper underneath where the box is going to go. So I used a lot less decorative paper than I thought I would need, but it fits really well, really nicely, and I'm glad that it looks pretty good. And so I'm taking a break from that now, and we're going to move on to doing some of the classwork that I have to make up. So like I said, I'm not really necessarily behind on classwork, but I do have to get the stuff done before the final project is due, because obviously at the final presentation you want to have everything done. So I'm going to be making 2 of these books, and I'm going to be making them with different papers. I'm really excited to use these special papers that I have, so I really wanted to do something with them. So I wanted to use the dinosaur birthday party, and I also wanted to use a little chameleon paper, and I had an idea for the dinosaur one where I'm going to do a purple spine with the fabric, because I really don't like having spines of the books that I make be out of paper, because I feel like they have a bigger tendency to start breaking later on in the line. And normally when I make books, I'm not going to reopen them a lot and use them, but because I've made so many books in this class, I'm going to probably be using them as sketchbooks or notebooks or something in the near future. So I know that these will actually have to be pretty good quality. And when I made my strawberry book, you guys saw the repairs that I did in the last video. It was very time consuming to have to do all of that just because I did the spine out of paper. Learning from my mistakes, I am now going to be making the spine out of fabric for all of my future books, because it just makes me worry less and I feel better about it. I'm going to cover the fronts of these with the dinosaur paper because that is perfectly fine, because it's not going to affect the spine. I'm just doing the same treatment. As you can see, I have evolved a lot from my past ways of making books in that I am using much less glue, and it is really nice because this is thin paper. Like, this paper is about the same quality as printer paper, which is probably the only disappointing aspect of this very pretty paper, is that it's just not printed on the nicest quality, but I'm sure
it's made by small artists and they don't have, you know, the budget or the access to like do that, so I fully understand. The pattern is just so pretty that obviously I'm willing to overlook it, but I do wish that this paper was just the slightest bit thicker. We're just gonna learn to work with it, so I'm just taking extra precautions not to have the paper buckle, which means using much less glue, which is what we're doing right now. And I'm also gonna bone fold the edges just to make sure it's nice and square, because this paper is really thin, so the shape of the board should be really obvious through the paper. And so now we're gonna get to the part where we're going to actually glue the book into there. So I'm gonna cut off this extra part because I don't know, that's just how we were taught to do it. And I'm gonna glue this mole, which is just this little meshy part. I used a lot of it in my last video if you guys want to know more about it, but it's basically just this kind of mesh. It gets more flexible when it's wet, and so with the water that is inside of the glue, if you soak it a little bit, it gets a bit more flexible. And it's just a bit more reinforcement for when you're working with paper, because obviously paper likes to tear, and as much as paper is increasingly strong, it is also very, very weak at times, so you just want to take all the necessary precautions. And here I am running into the issues of how I'm going to quote unquote hem the edges of my spine, because obviously this is raw fabric that I'm using and it is gonna fray if I don't do anything to the treatment of the edges. So I decided to just glue in the edges like I would if I was on a sewing machine and just have those hemmed, and so that works out pretty well. The only thing is that now it leaves a bit of a difference in height in the inside, but I will accommodate for that later. And similarly to what I did with the box, because you guys saw that I wrapped the box in pink tissue paper, and I did a lot of care with that because I wrapped it in 2 different layers of pink tissue paper. I'm not gonna do that for this book because this book is not as important to me as that box is. So I'm just going to add some white printer paper just to have it be nice enough. Also, these are flat shaped, so it's much easier to wrap with printer paper. I couldn't do this with the box because it would have a lot of crease and add a lot of bulk to the box, which I did not want. But we're just adding those white sheets so that the purple fabric can be more opaque against it. And I'm just gonna glue everything in, which is very satisfying and easy to do. I'm leaving a board's width in between the spine and the cover just to make sure that it all fits well, and we're going to just glue everything down. I left this to dry for a while, and then we're going to cut off the excess on the sides of the book and then just fold those edges in. It's really easy, honestly, and if you want to learn how to do this, there's a bunch of tutorials online, but I'm just gonna do this my way, which is just gluing it down. I'm not supposed to get glue in the gutters, but I always do, and so far haven't had any major issues about it, so I'm not really sure what all of the fuss is about with that, but works well for me, so I don't know. I'm special, I guess. And so that is pretty much all I got to tonight, but I'm going to finish this tomorrow morning and we'll be ready for my final crit. So I'm excited. I think things are turning out pretty good. I'm just gonna keep going for the rest of the night. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for a final reveal. So the next day is the official due date of my box and all of its inside parts. As you guys noticed, I did not paint anything yet, and that is because I saved it to do in the morning of. Why? Because this just usually is what happens with final projects. I don't finish everything the night before, or I get to a good stopping point where I could present it, it could be done, but I just like to add a little bit more, and so I get a second wind in the morning and I want to do it. So I just painted these really simple white lines. I put some stickers on it, and the reason it didn't end up being a bug party is just because I didn't have the energy to paint little bugs, but I have a bunch of these stickers, and because this is a graphic design class, I can get away with using stickers and stuff. I know if I was in my illustration classes, I would get questions of why I didn't draw my own designs, why I didn't come up with it, why I'm using other people's designs. So I really want to just take advantage of this simple solution that I had this one time and use stickers to decorate my stationery instead. Okay, so here's what I have so far. I'm currently going through this notebook adding lines. I'm not going to add them to every single page, but I'm just doing some of them. Like, for example, over here, this one just has the date. And so I'm just doing a little journal guy. And then here are all my envelopes. I think they look pretty cute. They look way better with the lines drawn on them, so I'm very pleased. These are all the backs of them because I feel like the fronts of them are not as interesting. Yeah, and I also started doing the notebooks, so I've been... Is there any? I don't think there's anything wet. I've been going through doing the white detailing, so I did these 2 lines. I'm not gonna do lined paper on every single page, not because it's too much work, because honestly it's not that much work, but I just don't think it's like necessary, so that's not what I'm gonna be doing. But I started using, this is so like insane of me, started using this hole punch to punch out have these strips of the glitter paper that I always use. As you can see, here's some ones I've been working on because I have extras. I don't have star-shaped stickers. I know they exist. I don't have them. So I'm just doing that. But here is what the notebook looks like. I'm just making my way through. I'm gonna leave these pages blank. They look cute. But we're just gonna work our way through and just decorate it a little bit, and then we'll pretty much be done, I think. Isn't that insane? But I think it looks really cute right now. These are the two that I'm choosing to be like the cover, because when I close this box, clearly something's gotta be in the front. But I love this specific page so much. I think it's just like the perfect colors. And then these sparkles just make it so pretty. Like, I have a lot of confetti pages. They just hit diff. Like this specific page and this one, I guess whatever color combination I have in this, I should try to recreate. I don't think I can because I used all of my, but yeah, maybe it's like the hearts or something. I love it so much. I think it's so cute. Here's my little thing. And here's the process one that I did. I'm just gonna leave this in here for the sake of my project, but I'm not really having it as like the set, if that makes sense. Didn't mean to use the same guy, but I did, ahaha. So I'm just gonna write the process really quick here. Somehow every time I write something with a Sharpie, I forget how to spell it. And I literally just like was not sure if I remembered how to spell process correctly. Don't know what day this video is gonna go up, but right now it's February 4th, so I'm telling you that. Also, this is random, but you guys know my banana box. Well, I've decided to put my little anatomy guys in here. I'm literally scared to move them because they might not fit back in there, but I made a video about this a long time ago. The little toys, oh god, I'm really scared because they barely fit in here. I need to make a special box just for them. But yes, here they all are. This is their new current home where they reside because I did not have a good box to put them in, and so now they get to live in this cute little banana box. So cute. I use this banana fabric for like literally everything. Hello everyone, good morning. So I am officially ready to go to crit. I am very over this. I'm done with this project. I think I always reach a point in my projects where I've officially realized that I no longer want to do it, and that is right now. I have it here. It is completely done. I could paint like a bajillion and one more details on it. You guys know me, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm done, as I said. But here's what it looks like. I think it looks so cute, and I really like how it turned out. So I am ready for crit. I also have my other assignments. I have this banana box, the first box I ever made that was wobbly. Look how not wobbly this one is. It's amazing. I also have my strawberry book. You guys know, fan favorite. Everyone loves strawberries in this house. These are the two that I made last night in preparation for the final because it was just classwork that I didn't really get to finish. So we have the dinosaur party. These were the papers that I got at Craftland that I'm very happy about because they're so cute. So we have this one. Then this plain purple one. I want to put something on the cover, but as of right now, I don't have anything yet. I don't think I have anything that would fit what's on the inside. The inside is that beautiful chameleon paper. Woo! Thinking about maybe using these for sketchbooks in the next semester just because I feel bad because I know I'll probably never use them otherwise, or I'll write in them. Not sure yet. Alrighty everyone, so I am officially ready for crit. Here's everything that we have. Obviously we have the final. This is what it looks like. I think it's really cute. We have my strawberry book that I took apart and was not supposed to, but I did, and it looks a lot better now. So there that is. Dun dun. I put the sticker on last night because there's actually a glue stain under here, but more importantly, I took the sticker out and I didn't feel like putting it back in the pack because I never used it. I will take these out for crit. They're just in there because they have nowhere to live otherwise. And then these are the two new books that I did last night. They're the little dinosaur books. They have the glitter on the inside, these little headbands that I made with a ribbon. So I think that's cute. And then this one's just a purple book. I want to put something on the cover, but I've yet to think of what. And the inside is this really pretty chameleon paper. It's obviously on both sides, but that is everything I have to show. Obviously, like I have like papers and things, but for finished projects, these are the ones that I'm the most proud of that I'm going to be showing. I'm very excited. I think this came out so cute. So shall we just do a little tour? Here is the finished letter set. As you can see, I love doing these plastic screens. I actually haven't had a chance to do one
done in a long time because like, I don't know, when would I do it? But here's the side. I put this guy here and that's what the outside looks like. It says letter set, new. There's not much else to do, but just to open the ribbon. So as you can see on the inside, there is this glitter part to match everything else. I ended up using this ginkgo leaf paper just because it's not as loud, and compared to the purple, it fits a lot better. And then here are all of the letters and the papers. So let's go through the papers first. This one is just a white one. There are some lines on there, but they're pretty faint, but you can see them when they're held up to the light because they are more opaque. Here's a blue one, that on the back, a green one, little Shibas, more confetti ones. You guys know I loved my confetti paper this time around. So it has the little cats. Wow. And the last one's just a plain one. It's green. Oh, just kidding, it's not plain. I thought it was plain. Those are all of the papers, little papers it comes with. And then for the envelopes, so we have this pink one, or a purple one, pink purple one. So we have this pink one. It's just pink and purple melded together. This one's blue, white, and green. There's the back. We have a little hamster bunny guy. Here's a purple and white one. It's purple on the inside. That one has a 2, so you can address it to someone. This one's blue. These ones are white. This one's super thin and translucent. There's a little red guy on the back. A green one with the white on the inside. Here's a purple one with white on the inside. Oop. Some really faint lines on there. You can like barely see them. There's a blue one with white on the inside. It's blue and white on the outside. And then here's a green one with white on the inside. There's the 2. And so if you take the envelopes out and the letters, you get this little booklet. So cute, OMG. And I didn't end up doing all the pages, mostly because I got really tired, but the back is just meant for drawing little pictures, which I've seen a lot of different journals do, where they have more lined paper in the front and then more blank paper in the back. Look how pretty those colors are. It's interesting that like the back is very clearly, doesn't have any of those peeking through, but the front does. There's the blue sheet, right on the other side. We got little stickers going on. I'm still debating whether I actually want to write in this, but if I do, I will be decorating with even more stickers, and I think it'll just look so cute. I probably will bring myself to write in it just because, I don't know, I think it'd be a shame if I didn't. I'm just so scared of like messing up because I think I finally got over my anxiety with writing in notebooks a few years ago, and I'm pretty good at using them now. But this one is all handmade paper, so that one's a little scary. Back to some lined paper, and I think that's almost to the end of our lined paper. We have a little bit more, as you can see. So pretty. I love all of this paper that I made. I finally got the hang of what I wanted to do towards the end, so all of these papers that I've been making now are exactly what I want, so I'm very happy about that. The ends of the paper are not the exact same length. These edges are, but I didn't trim this one because one, I lose a lot of paper, and two, I kind of like it. I don't mind it, but there's that. And then I put my process in here as well, just because I thought it'd be a shame to lose it. I did not fill up this entire thing because I didn't really need to. Here is one of the things I used. So I don't have the last page filled out just because I didn't really need that many notes when it came to making this. It was pretty straightforward. And then I got this like weird gap here. It was really irritating me, so I just included a pack of ribbon. The hypothetical person who is going to be using this, i.e. me. But that's everything in here, and I think it came out so cute, and I absolutely love it. I was, as you guys know, really worried about the color combos. I think it came out well, so ding ding. Let me just wrap him back up, and he is ready for class. My little letter set, I love you. And there's the back, a very nice banana fabric. I really want to buy more of it, so I really hope they have some in stock next time I go back to New York, but I love it. But those are pretty much all my assignments, and I'm really excited to go to Crit. So we're going to take this baby down to the studio and we are going to be done. Oh my god.
So I'm actually really excited for final crit. Usually I'm super excited because I work so hard and I finally get to do this stuff. And so here's all my work that I did. I have some random stuff I didn't show earlier in the vlog because it's just like classwork that I had to do. But as you can see, here's my box, my final project. It looks beautiful, amazing. I love it. And then I'm also presenting some of my progress from class. So I have some of my papers I made. This is not all the paper that I made. This is probably like a third of it. I made a lot of paper in this class, so there all of that is. But we have all of my work here. I'm so excited, and this is how we do our final crits. We just lay everything out, and that's pretty much it. And then we got a break, so I headed back to my room really quick.
Hello everyone, so I am back, and this crit went so well. Honestly, I mean, I wasn't really expecting anything because this class is pretty easygoing, so anything we make is usually praised, and I don't think that's a bad thing because it's winter session, I need a break. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, honestly. Like, I think it photographs really well too, so I'll put up some of the pictures that I've taken. I just think it looks great, and you guys will be seeing this on my Instagram. I'm sorry I've been doing bad at updating on Instagram, but I'm trying to get back into it. But yeah, here's the project. I just think it's so pretty. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me during this long process, even though it was only over the course of a single day. I really appreciate you guys just always like being here, hanging out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I've never really made anything like this. I've wanted to, but I've never really had the skills because no one ever taught me how to make a box until now. You know, I never got to pull up my own sheets of paper, so that's super cool. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate any feedback. Follow my Instagram if you want to see more pictures of this. I will also post some other things as well that I've just been working on. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with me. As always, I cannot express how grateful I am for everyone new who is subscribed. If you're new here, join the family by pressing the subscribe button. It's free. And I will see you guys in the next one. So stay hydrated, take a nap, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.
So yeah, just some more glamour shots because I really love how this project came out despite how kind of all over the place I felt like it was at times. I'm surprised with how well the color palette came out, how everything looks kind of good and cohesive, which is always what I strive for, but I feel like a lot of times it doesn't happen. And I'm just really proud of all of this because I did it all in one day. And then the weather advisory was true because it started sleeting and flash froze everything. So that was fun. This is scary. Can I catch the ice? Will it happen? No, definitely not. Yeah. This is ASMR. It's like ice. This was not white earlier.